The Scientist in the Field series is renowned for its approachable approach to its subjects, humanizing and celebrating the scientists themselves and presenting their work with engaging clarity. The Elephant Scientist is a superior example of that kind of exposition, with lucid writing, arresting photography, purposeful layout, and meaningful decoration. Together, these elements tell an irresistible story of Namibian elephants' ability to communicate through sound and vibration, and the far-reaching ripples of their remarkable discovery. I am delighted to present a 2012 Boston Globe Hornbook Honor Book Award for Nonfiction to The Elephant Scientist, published by Houghton Mifflin Books for Children, edited by Ann Ryder, illustrated by Timothy Rodwell, written by Caitlin O'Connell and Donna M. Jackson. Caitlin. Donna.
Gosh, I have my little cheat sheet here. I'm so honored. I never expected to be a storyteller. Let's see. I first got excited about writing stories was because I was a scientist. I was an entomologist. I had a master's in entomology, and looking at things under a microscope, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It's no wonder kids love insects. This is just this phenomenal world, and how do I get the excitement of this world to more people? And so my first story was about termites, and you might think, what? Wait, they're not cute and cuddly, but I just fell in love with them. I thought they were the most amazing thing. And I wrote this story about how they save the rainforest, and at the time, I was a master's student at the University of Hawaii, and I was in the conservation program, and saving the rainforest was a really big deal to me, and I thought, okay, this is the way I'm going to get my message to the next generation. And I had all these great characters, and the plasmodium inside the termites, and these phased bacteria, and my husband thought I was crazy. Well, not crazy, but I had to start drawing them because it was so, these things were microscopic, and in order to get my vision across, I started drawing these characters, and then suddenly I got a film producer interested in this story, and it gave me confidence. I thought, wow, this combination of words and images is what I need, is the tool that I need. Well, nothing ever happened with it. This was before Bug's Life and all those movies. But that came along. I was really happy that vision was played out. But it gave me the confidence to write my next book, and that was about the ivory trade. So my husband and I lived in the Caprivi region of Namibia, and I saw the importance of the urgency of disappearing land and of what was happening with elephants on the ground. I was working for the Namibian government to help them solve elephant-human conflict. And I didn't think that people really understood that for farmers, an elephant is like having a wolf out with your sheep. Nobody wants an elephant in their cornfield. So how do I get that point across? But then I got inspired by our boss, who is this larger-than-life character. And I knew I needed to tell the story as fiction because there was just way too many dangerous truths, and the story was going to be better as fiction. So I wrote this story, and I got, once again, deeply involved, very inspired. My husband's like, oh no, another passion project. What's going to happen here? And I tried to get agents interested. Nobody was interested in this. The response was, Caitlin, nobody cares about Africa. They care about you. You're a scientist. You have all these great discoveries. Why don't you write a book about yourself? And I was like, well, I don't want to write a book about myself. Look at this character that I'm writing about. Isn't he cool? He's so amazing. No, Caitlin, you have to write about yourself. Oh, no. So it took me about a year to think, how am I going to create a character out of myself as a scientist and step back and have the courage to be like, this is the character over here, and use her as the channel for learning and discovering science for kids. So I did it, and I wrote my first book that was published, is The Elephant Secret Sense, published in 2007 by Simon & Schuster. And I got really excited about nonfiction. Wow, this is the most amazing format to tell stories. I didn't think of that before. I was always drawn to fiction. And the challenges of overcoming the storytelling process about the truth, you can really, I think we shortchange nonfiction. I think nonfiction can be just as fascinating, riveting, great storytelling as fiction, but a lot of times people don't think of it that way. And so I learned that was a gift that I learned from writing that book. And I got so excited then about the nonfiction, the art of storytelling, how to tell science as not a dry report. There's some great storytelling out there, and there's been some really fantastic books in the last couple of years that demonstrate this. Henrietta Lack is the most recent that I can think of. So I got excited about teaching this. It's like, I gotta get on the preacher's stand because people think I'm crazy. So I'll do it in a formalized manner. I'll start teaching science writing. So I tell my group at Stanford in the continuing studies department, I want to teach science writing. Science writing? No one's gonna sign up for that. What are you doing? I'm gonna teach something else. I said, no, science writing. People are gonna really want to do this. Narrative science writing, creative science writing. They're gonna love this. And then the professor's like, well, you're going to have to write the whole schedule up. You're going to have to do the whole course, but what if nobody signs up? Okay, we'll give you $1,000 to write the course, and maybe people will sign up. I don't know. So the course filled in a day, and they thought, what did you do? You must have advertised this. You must have done something. And I said, well, no, I didn't do anything. And so then I taught science writing for Stanford and the New York Times Knowledge Network for a few years, and that was another really great learning experience. And that's about the time where I met Donna Jackson. She called me up to interview me about my science, and we got talking, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden The Elephant Scientist was born. And that was another amazing process, and I have to thank Donna for the art of storytelling that she taught me. As a scientist, and I teach science writing, but sometimes I don't practice what I preach. And so when you write a piece of science, you write the introduction, the methods, the results, the discussion, the conclusion. And some of what I was drafting was written like that. And Donna said, no, you don't put the punchline right up there. We got to hold back the reveal. I was like, reveal? Oh, that's right, this is a story. So it was really fun working together with Donna, and I'm so grateful and honored to be a co-author. I'm also very honored to be Tim's partner in crime and co-illustrator and partner in a vision for how to tell a better story through images, and I'm very grateful for you for putting up with my passion projects and making them that much better. I'm very grateful to Ann Ryder, our editor, for her vision for this project and her perseverance in getting that book just exactly right, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate becoming good friends over this process, and I hope that this will lead to other great things. And lastly, I want to thank the committee for your decision, and I'm again extremely honored, and I hope that more scientists become better writers and get their science more accurate in the media, more entertaining. I think it can be done. I also want to thank the elephants for inspiring such great stories, and I hope that this attention might also help to save a little land for them, because they deserve it. Thank you.
A few months ago, I heard Richard Holmes talk about the inspiration for his highly acclaimed book, The Age of Wonder. In the book, Holmes celebrates British scientists who studied the stars, explored new territories, and helped solve some of the mysteries of matter during the late 18th and 19th centuries. It was a revolutionary time of romantic science, science powered by passion, and what Holmes describes as an intense, reckless, personal commitment to discovery. It was also a time when artists and scientists marveled at the universe together, freely exchanging ideas, for the betterment of all. Before writing The Age of Wonder, Richard Holmes was best known for his biographies of Romantic poets. Along these lines, he received a fellowship to study literary biography at Trinity College in England, a school famous for its scientists and mathematicians. Every evening, he had the opportunity to sit with senior scholars, including 7 Nobel Prize winners, who would get together at dinner and discuss their research. It was during these times that Holmes rekindled a childhood interest in science and made an important discovery. One night, Holmes was seated near a Russian mathematician who didn't speak a word of English. Since Holmes didn't speak Russian and knew little about math, he opened the conversation with the only mathematical reference that came to mind, Évariste Galois. Évariste Galois was a French prodigy who helped shape modern mathematics, and his early discovery of group theory. He also lived a life as short as a Romantic poet, says Holmes, who notes that Galois died at age 20 in a duel thought to be over a woman. When the Russian mathematician heard Galois' name, Holmes says he immediately put his right hand over his heart and gestured a big embrace. It was as if to say, Évariste Galois, so dear to my heart. Then he began arranging all the knives, forks, spoons, and cups around him and proceeded to illustrate group theory. I love you, science people, Holmes thought. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you from explaining your science. That's when he knew he wanted to write a book that would do the same thing. Holmes's story struck a chord. No, Caitlin didn't use cutlery to explain her theory of elephant communications, but she did reach for every tool that she could find to share her work. Notes, journals, charts, x-rays, maps, videos, drawings, and nearly 2 decades worth of photos. For our first draft of the book, she sent me more than 170 images, each with its own story. In many ways, Caitlin's eclectic approach mirrors that of the Romantic scientists. Her trips to Namibia each summer, camping among the animals for weeks in the wild, her entomology background, and her work with plant hoppers that led her to her breakthrough discovery, the artful images she and her husband Tim have collected on their trips, and the research and writing she shares through her books and lectures. In fact, one of the hallmarks of the Romantic age is that for the first time, children were taught science. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have helped Caitlin and Tim tell their story. In true Romantic fashion, it's one that touches the heart as well as the mind. Thanks to the Horn Book, Simmons College, and the 3 dedicated judges for recognizing our work. Thanks to the talented team at Houghton Mifflin, and especially our editor, Ann Ryder, for guiding us through the pages and designing a book that reflects the beauty of science. Thanks to Caitlin and Tim for all your hard work and for trusting me with your story. And thanks to my husband, Charlie. 31 years ago, we started our lives together here in Boston. And look where it landed us, back at Fenway.